wall of stone atop a hill so high. And if you listen with your heart, you just may hear my cry. Where has the Beis Hamikdash gone? I stand here all alone. How long am I to wait for all my children to come home? A house of marble and of gold once stood here by my side. From far and wide all came to see its beauty and its pride. But Sinas Chinom brought it down, and with it so much pain. Now only Ahavas Yisroel can build it once again. Together, you stood by Har Sinai, my daughters and sons, forever.
Hello, boys and girls. We are back at home in isolation. But don't you know you're never alone? It doesn't matter where you are. There's nothing in his eyes more special than you. Remember, you are the most precious people in Hashem's eyes. And Hashem says, Barucheinu Avinu Kulanu Kiyechad. When we are one, when we are together, Hashem blesses us. So even though we are apart physically, but we are one together. And I want to share with you a story that a lot of you know, but it's a very, very, very important story. And we have to hear it so many times because stories are not there to put us to sleep. Stories are to wake us up and to make sure we heed and listen to the lesson. Now, this story is written in the Gemara. That's right. It's a story from the Gemara. But I've got something very special for you. You see, here is a storybook that was written by Mrs. Talashevsky from Melbourne and painted by Moshe Talashevsky from Melbourne. Can you imagine? Melbourne. So I thought, well, why not read it from a Melbourne book, from a story that was written so many years ago in the Gemara, right over there in the set of the Gemara. So are you ready? Relax, fasten your seatbelts, and get ready for the story about Kamsar and Bar Kamsar. Drum roll. Now, I want you to go back to a very, very, very long time ago. And this was about 2,000 years ago, just before the destruction of the second Beis Hamikdash. There was so much infighting. Very, very sadly, the Yidden were not getting along. They were not nice to one another. They didn't ask each other, how are you? Are you hungry? Do you want some food? They didn't share nicely. Well, let me tell you about two people. Here goes. Once upon a time, a man had a friend called Kamsar. But he had an enemy, someone he didn't like, called Bar Kamsar. Are we allowed to have enemies? Oh no, chas v'shalom. We have to love everybody. Now, he made a big friend, and he's a big party, and he sent his servants to invite Kamsar to the party. Many people were invited, including all the rabbis and all the leaders of the community. But this servant, by mistake, invited Bar Kamsa. He invited the enemy. There's a picture of him going out, the servant, and inviting Bar Kamsa to the party. You know what happened. Bar Kamsa was so happy. Oh my gosh, maybe my enemy wants to make shalom, wants to make peace, wants to make me feel complete. Shalom means complete. And it also means peace, and it also means hi. Because when you say hi to someone, you want to say it in such a nice way that they feel whole. They feel so wonderful. They feel so connected, because we are only half, and together we make a whole. So when you say shalom, hi, you're saying peace unto you. You're saying hello to them, because you're saying we're really all one. We are really all complete when we're all together. So you thought, maybe my long enemy now wants to make friends with me. So Bar Kamsa said, I'll come to the party. Anyway, that night came, and Bar Kamsa got dressed up. He was wearing his best. I'm sure he was wearing a tie, or maybe not. He was wearing a beautiful hat, and he comes to the party. As he walks in, the host, his enemy, says, excuse me, why have you come to my party? Leave right now. Bar Kamsa says, oh, please don't embarrass me. I see now I must have been invited by mistake. Please, I'll pay for anything I eat. Here's a picture of the man trying to kick out Bar Kamsa from the party. Is that nice to embarrass another Yid? Oh no. No, screamed the host. Bar Kamsa pleaded with him, I'm going to pay for half the party. Again, the naughty, cruel host said, oh no, you get out. That's not very nice. Please don't ever kick anybody out. Always invite someone to come in, and especially if they're there, make them feel welcome and loved. The man said, I'll pay for the whole party, begged Bar Kamsa. But the host said, oh no. And he got the security guards, and they picked them up, and they kicked Bar Kamsa out. Now, you boys and girls that are listening, you would never be mean to someone else. But you know, sometimes there's something called passive bullying. And sometimes some people are mean to other people. And that's very, very sad and naughty. But you know what else is sad and naughty? That if you see someone else getting hurt and you don't say anything, that's also very sad and naughty. And sometimes you've got to stand up and say, hey, that wasn't nice. And you know what? When this naughty man kicked out Bar Kamsa, even though Bar Kamsa was his enemy, all the other people should have said, hey, let him stay. Because when a bully gets confronted by everybody else, then he shies away. Well, unfortunately, very, very sadly, nobody stood up and said anything. Nobody said, oh, let him stay. Come on. Please, we need to have Avish Yisrael. We need to love each other. We need to respect one another. Well, very sadly, Bar Kamsa left and he said, I'm very hurt. And he was wrong what he did now, but he said, I'm going to take revenge, not just on this man, but on all the Jews. He was furious. He was angry. You could see that he's kicked out. He's so sad, even though he's offering all the money. If the rabbis and leaders, he said, didn't stop my enemy from treating me like this, they must think it's okay. And I'm going to take revenge. He went to the Caesar. He traveled to Rome. At that time, the Romans, they were in charge. They were not very nice people. They were very naughty. Remember I once told you about Randy McNasty? They were the Randy McNasties. They were horrible. They were absolutely despicable. That's right. They were not very nice to the Eden. And he went to the Caesar. The Caesar's like the king. And the Caesar was, at that time, Rome was the most powerful nation of the world. They were a master. They were a superpower. And they went to the Caesar, the king of Rome, and said, the Jewish people in Israel, you think they like you? They don't. Well, we didn't really like him, that's the truth. But we were good people. The Yidden were trying the best. Caesar said, how do you know that? He said, well, if you send them a carbon, I am telling you that they won't even use the carbon for a Mizbeach. On the Mizbeach, no, of course they'll offer my carbon. Well, let me tell you what happened. Caesar took a beautiful calf and he gave it to Bar Kamsa to take to the Beis HaMikdash, where he was going to offer it as a carbon. Da-na-na-na. Now, Bar Kamsa did something very tricky as in not good, because all of you know that in the Beis HaMikdash, on the Mizbeach, when we offer a carbon to Hashem, it's got to be the best. It's got to be perfect. And if it has a mum and blemish, then you're not allowed to. And what Bar Kamsa went and did, he took a little tiny, this is a picture of, by the way, Bar Kamsa with Caesar. And his name look at them. That's the naughty man, someone not doing the very nicest thing. And what he did was, he went and he made a little cut. Oh no. Now that carbon all of a sudden was not kosher. When nobody was looking, Bar Kamsa made a tiny cut on the calf's lip. He knew the Roman soldiers were not known as such a tiny cut. But now it could not be used as a carbon, because a carbon may not have any cuts. They brought the calf to the Beis HaMikdash. And by the way, the Beis HaMikdash was beautiful now. It had just been renovated. But the Kohanim could not use the calf. The Roman soldiers were angry. They would not listen to any explanation. The Kohanim said, please, you must listen. We respect Caesar, but this has got a mum. Well, very, very sadly, Bar Kamsa's wicked plan worked. Caesar was very angry. He decided to attack Eretz Yisrael and destroy the Beis HaMikdash. Hashem, who loves us so much, said, you know, what really hurts me about the Yidden is that they're not loving one another. And he said this sinas chinam, which means they're just being mean to one another for no reason. We need to be kind to one another. Here the Roman soldiers coming to destroy Yerushalayim, our beautiful city, Yerushalayim. But Hashem allowed the Romans. Hashem said, better I let them destroy stone and wood and not destroy the people. And the army came and they made a circle around the city of Yerushalayim, and they wouldn't let anybody in and out. They would not allow food to be brought in. And very, very sadly, Yerushalayim had a lot of food inside. There were some very, very rich people that had so much food, and they were willing to share it. They were good people. But there were some other naughty people who said, we're going to burn all the storerooms down, all the food, so people are going to have to fight the Romans. And what happened was, on the 17th day of Tammuz, which just was, they made a hole. They had this big ramming, and they were knocking, and they made a hole in the wall of Yerushalayim. And they came inside, and they fought for 3 weeks. And on Tisha B'Av here, you could see a picture of them ramming the wall. And on Tisha B'Av, they went inside the Beis HaMikdash. It's very sad. And they broke it. They smashed it down. There was a very naughty Roman. His name was Titus. And they went and they burned the Beis HaMikdash. And all the Yidden were exiled. And they made them go live in other countries. And they burned the entire city of Yerushalayim to the ground. But Hashem said, everyone listen, drum roll. Hashem said, if we have avos chinam, if we just love each other so much, when he sees someone, avos chinam doesn't mean you love each other because he deserves it. Let's say someone is really, really nice to you, of course you're going to love them. Avos chinam means even if they don't maybe deserve always to be loved, you're still going to love them. Hashem said, I'm going to come and build the third Beis HaMikdash. Here all the Yidden leaving Yerushalayim, and you can see the Beis HaMikdash on fire in the background. Oh no. So boys and girls, I want you all to stop 1 second and close your eyes. And I want you to think of a boy and girl in your class that maybe you weren't that nice to. Or maybe you said something a bit mean, and I want you to go up to them and say, call them up and say, I'm so sorry. I love you. I want to be your friend again. I want to be there with you. I want to connect with you again. You could do it, because what we need to learn now during the weeks, these few weeks, the 3 weeks, that it's true, it's very, very sad days. But these days, they could turn around and they could become the most joyful days. So boys and girls, you should know that yes, we're in sad times, but sad times become happy times. So many happy days are coming now. Why don't you please listen to me? We'll be singing, dancing, laughing, everybody. Just you wait and see. Miracles, amazing wonders like no one's ever seen before. Yet finally the magic moment we have all been waiting for, Mashiach. And that's going to happen when we're all nice. Everybody, let's be nice to one another, because that's what we need to do. And then coronavirus will cease to be, because you and I will be two, which makes us one. And miracles will come, and everybody will be in Yerushalayim with the third Beis HaMikdash, b'meheira v'yameinu, and everybody say Amen. Thank you. Have a good night. But remember, night will turn to light, and light will turn to joy. Have a great day or great night. Thank you.